Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-17 loss versus the San Francisco 49ers. First things first, before we talk about the good and the bad, is I highly recommend that you guys check out Bruce Arians' press conference post-game, okay? It is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers YouTube channel, and I will link it down in the comment section of this video. I've already linked it on my community tab, and I will also link it on Twitter and Facebook, both on the Facebook page and the Facebook group. I highly recommend you check it out. I agree with a lot of what Bruce Arians said in his press conference. I don't agree with everything, but I certainly agree with a lot of what he said about what went wrong in this game and how they're going to work to correct it. With that being said, let's start talking about some of the good things that came out of this game, okay? And the first thing that I want to address is the defense. This defense played so freaking good in this game. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. There were some penalties and whatnot, and we will get into that a little bit later on in this video, but I think all things considered, the Buccaneers defense did a pretty darn good job, especially in the run defense. Guys like William Golston, Levante David, Ndamukong Suh. You also have Vita Vea, Jordan Whitehead. Those guys did such a good job in run defense, and even Devin White got in there a little bit as well. Shout out to Devin White. This was his first NFL game, and I know during my reactions live stream, a lot of people were asking, where was Devin White? Where was Devin White? I think he did make a couple of plays here and there. Nothing too splashy, but overall had a pretty solid performance. But like I said, William Golston and Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea on that defensive line had such a good game defending the run. They were going up against Tevin Coleman. They were going up against Matt Breida. They were going up against Raheem Mostert. And they did a really, really good job of defending those guys and overall, stuffing the line, stuffing the run gaps, and just stopping the run. Both Levante David and Jordan Whitehead came screaming in on running plays. They did such a good job of getting into the backfield. I know if you look at the overall stats, the tackles for loss isn't necessarily there, but they did a really good job of stopping them only after maybe 1-2 yards, or even stopping them at the line of scrimmage. I think that both Jordan Whitehead and Levante David were probably the two best defenders on the field today in terms of their overall tackling ability. Now, there were some missed tackles, and Bruce Arians did address that in his post-game press conference, and yes, there were some missed tackles from both Levante David and Jordan Whitehead, more so Jordan Whitehead. But I still think that you can definitely work off of both of their performances. Both Levante David and Jordan Whitehead are, I think two of the best players on this defense right now, and they showed it in this game. I also would, I would be kicking myself if I didn't mention Vernon Hargreaves. I freaking loved this game from Vernon Hargreaves. This was his coming out game, okay? This was the Vernon Hargreaves we need all season, and the Vernon Hargreaves I think that we can see all season. He had a pick six, just completely jumped the route that was thrown by Jimmy Garoppolo, returned it for a pick six. Beautiful, beautiful play. Earlier on in the game, a lot of people were criticizing Vernon Hargreaves and saying, get him out of the field. We don't need him right now. But man, he came back strong, and he's starting to look like his old self again, his uninjured self. It's always that story with Vernon Hargreaves is if the guy can just stay healthy, we would be in, pretty decent shape at the cornerback position, because he can be really good when he is healthy. He showed that today, getting an interception in the first game of the year. It's always encouraging to see, and it was, in my opinion, the play of the day for the Buccaneers. I want to shout out Mike Edwards. Didn't play a whole heck of a lot. He came in later on after Darian Stewart. I believe he got ejected from this game, and we will get to that in a little bit. But Mike Edwards came in, made a couple of plays when it mattered most, when the Buccaneers needed stops on the defensive side of the ball, so shout out to him. I want to see more of him play. I like Darian Stewart, but I want to see a little bit more of rotation as time goes on. Maybe get the rookie a little bit more playing time, because so far he's looked pretty solid in terms of coverage and tackling ability. Shifting over to the offensive side of the ball and on special teams, a couple of guys that I want to talk about real quick. Chris Godwin, he had the lone offensive touchdown for the Buccaneers in today's game. He caught it even with Richard Sherman holding on to him. It obviously drew the flag, but, still scored anyway. Shout out to Chris Godwin. He made a couple of catches when it mattered most. He wasn't perfect. He didn't, there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and Jameis Winston, but He did catch the one touchdown, so shout out to him. Cameron Brate should have had a touchdown in this game. It was negated by penalties. Again, we will get to that in a little bit, but I thought overall he did a pretty decent job. And then also I want to shout out the interior offensive line. Guys like Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa. It wasn't perfect for those guys. They did get beat sometimes, especially Kappa in, say, pass blocking, but I think their run blocking did a really, really good job as the interior offensive linemen. They did some good stuff, in my opinion. I definitely think that it's something you can work on this running game, build on it, because those guys did some really, really good run blocking in this game. Those are the next two guys I actually want to shout out, is running back Ronald Jones and running back Payton Barber. Now, Payton Barber, he had a good game. He didn't get a whole lot of carries. I believe he got 8 carries, which is a decent amount, and I believe he got 3 to 4 yards a carry. That's all well and good. I expect more of a, some more playing time for him going forward, but this was a coming out game for Ronald Jones, okay? This was the game that he needed, and this was the game that us as Bucs fans needed, because, man, he looked good running the ball. He had 13 carries, I believe over 50 yards. He also had a 1 catch for 17 yards as well. He looked really, really good. I think he even had, did he have over 70 yards, something like that? I believe he had around 90-something yards, over 90 yards of total scrimmage in this game, and, man, that's something we needed to see. Okay, that was 100% something we needed to see from Ronald Jones. It looks like that they're really going to trust him going forward, and I'm 100% on board with that, okay, because they can really use him, okay? He's looking good as a, he's showing more power. He's showing the elusiveness that really made him, be one of the draft picks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. And it was really, really encouraging to see. So Ronald Jones did a really good job. Payton Barber did good in his role as well. And even Dare Ogunbowale got in there a little bit. But the star of this running back group in today's game was Ronald Jones. And then finally, the last of the good from this game is kicker Matt Gay. He made all of his kicks, nothing to complain about there. Overall, pretty darn good job for Matt Gay. Keep it going. Next, let's talk about the bad, okay? And, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of players to highlight in terms of overall badness, but the bad that was done in this game was really, really bad, okay? First things first, I want to address two things that were just kind of more of team things, okay? The first thing is penalties. We can't have penalties. That's just bad. The Buccaneers, I believe, finished with 8 penalties in this game. Like I said before, the average penalties per game is 5 to 6 penalties. You can't have that. You can't have that many penalties and expect to do an overall good job. A lot of those penalties were like the usual drive killers for this team. Like I said earlier, Cameron Brate, he would have had a touchdown, but there was a holding penalty on DeMar Dodson, who had 2 penalties on the game. Carlton Davis had 2 penalties as well. Darian Stewart had a penalty. I believe it got him ejected. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section below, but I'm pretty sure he got ejected from the game due to a helmet-to-helmet hit. You can't have that. So all in all, you got to cut down on the penalties. It's just something that we can't have. Jameis Winston had 2 penalties as well in this game. You just can't do that, okay? So I saw some people criticizing the play calling from offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich in this game, and then also Bruce Arians said in his post-game press conference that he thought the play calling was pretty good. So I'm not a great expert at calling plays and deciding what plays are good in certain situations. I personally would have given Ronald Jones the ball more, definitely leaned a little bit more on the run game, because you could tell that Jameis Winston was struggling a little bit, so I might have switched things up. Definitely focused a little bit more on the run, maybe put in a little bit more play action in there. But again, I'm not the guy to talk to when it comes to certain types of plays that should be put in certain kinds of situations. So that's just kind of up to your own opinions on that one. But me personally, I might have done a little bit more running. I might have done a little bit more play action, but Bruce Arians himself said that he liked the play calling in this game, so take that for what it is. Some of the players that did bad in this game. First guy I want to talk about, O.J. Howard, and, he just really didn't have a good game, okay? There were 3 things that I, thought about that really didn't look good for O.J. Howard in this game. The first one is he had a pass hit him right in the hands, bounced off of his hands, and it led to that ball getting intercepted. That was one of Jameis Winston's interceptions. We will get to him in a little bit. That's not good. You can't have that. Another play that happened was O.J. Howard caught the ball, ran with it, and then proceeded to fumble the ball in 49ers territory. The 49ers got the ball back. You can't have that either. That's another turnover that was created due to O.J. Howard. You've got to work on that. You've got to correct that. And then finally, the last thing is that his pass blocking was not good in this game. He really, really needs to do a better job of pass blocking. I know it has led some people to say, oh, well, the tackles, they're not doing good pass blocking. I will say that in certain situations, tackles were getting beat, but O.J. Howard did not help things either with his pass blocking in today's game. Next two guys I want to talk about are the tackles, Demar Dodson, Donovan Smith. Let's talk about Demar Dodson first, who I think didn't have the worst game blocking, okay? He did have his bad moments, but he also did have his decent moments as well. The big thing for me was the penalties. That's something he has literally admitted after the game that he needs to cut down on, and I agree with him 100%. He had two really just back drive breaking holding calls that, just can't happen. We can't have those kind of calls. One of them prevented a touchdown for the Buccaneers. Another one of them prevented a really nice play that the Buccaneers had. You can't have those kind of penalties. Please, Demar Dodson, cut down on that. The next guy, Donovan Smith, he really struggled today, in my opinion, against Nick Bosa, the second overall pick in this most recent draft that we just had. And, we got to see improvement from him. He's getting paid a heck ton of money, getting paid top left tackle money. We got to see him improve in his pass blocking. And, we just need to see more consistency from him. Good consistency at that. Final three guys I want to talk about are all secondary players is Carlton Davis, Darian Stewart, and MJ Stewart. Carlton Davis, Darian Stewart, their struggle came more with penalties, okay? Carlton Davis, he had 2 penalties in this game. Unexcusable, just like Demar Dodson. Carlton Davis played a pretty decent game in coverage, kind of came up a little bit, got a little bit hampered by an injury, but you got to cut down on those penalties because those can really, just really kill the momentum that you're building on defense. It helps out the 49er offense a lot, gives them automatic first downs. Carlton Davis, cut down on the penalties. I love you. So, I know how good you can be. Just cut down on the penalties. It's okay. He'll learn from it, and he will do better next game. Darian Stewart, not only did he struggle with penalties in this game, one of which got him ejected, by the way, but he also struggled a little bit in tackling, which we saw in the preseason. I want him to get a little bit better at that. I'm not sure if it's because he's scared to use his method of tackling, which, obviously led to him getting ejected, or what, but I want to see him wrap up more. I want to see him, try not to go for that big hit as much. I know it helps causing fumbles, but I want to see him wrap up more. And then finally, MJ Stewart, he struggled a little bit in this game in coverage, definitely looked a little bit slow out there, definitely looked a little bit, like he didn't have the greatest awareness in the world. I want to see him improve on that. He is slotted to be one of our starting nickel cornerbacks right now, and I need to see him improve. Otherwise, you're going to have guys like Sean Murphy-Bunting or Jamel Dean coming in and slotting in at those starting positions. Finally, let's talk about the big one, okay? Jameis Winston. Let's talk about Jameis Winston. He had 3 interceptions in this game, 1 touchdown. 2 of those interceptions, by the way, were returned for pick sixes. Those weren't good. And I listened to Bruce Arians' post-game press conference, and he said that both of those plays were bad decisions on Jameis Winston's part. And oh boy, I agree with that. The first interception that was returned by Richard Sherman for a pick 6, it was a hitch route. It was Payton Barber versus Richard Sherman. Bruce Arians said, that's a bad matchup. That was a bad decision. You don't throw towards that. And I completely agree 100%. You had one of the best cornerbacks in the league going up against a running back. Jameis Winston, it almost looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication. Maybe Jameis thought he was going for an out route, but Barber ran a hitch anyway. They asked Bruce Arians about that. Bruce Arians said, nope, just a bad decision. There wasn't any miscommunication there, just a bad decision on Jameis Winston's part. I agree 100%. Look at your matchups a little bit better. Decide better what to do with the ball next time. And then the second play was on the screen pass to Dare Ogunbowale in the last Buccaneers offensive drive of the game. Really needed Jameis Winston to do good on that drive because it was, I believe the score at that time was it was 20. It was a drive where the Buccaneers could win the game. Okay, I know that. It was a drive where the Buccaneers could win the game. and Jameis Winston dropped the ball there. Now, they asked Bruce Arians about this play as well, and Bruce Arians said this. He said, Jameis Winston was trying to throw the ball away. I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. Jameis Winston tried to throw the ball away. He didn't throw it far enough, and we teach our guys that if you want to throw the ball away on certain plays, throw it at the receiver's feet. Jameis Winston didn't do that. It was another bad decision. Admittedly, also, Dario Ogunbowale got tied up in his offensive lineman on that play, and Bruce Arians and Jameis Winston have both said that they kind of expected Dario Ogunbowale to be out there, but it was a bad throwaway by Jameis Winston. It got pick-sixed immediately. Again, you can't have those decisions. It sounds like Bruce Arians. You teach your guys, if you want to throw it away, throw it at your receiver's feet. Jameis Winston didn't do that, and he has got to learn how to do that. That is a really, really important thing. You can't have pressure in your face, throw it back foot. You got to listen to your coaches there, okay? Throw it at the guy's feet. Throw it at your offensive lineman's feet, okay? Who cares? You know, even Bruce Arians said, if you get the intentional grounding, take the intentional grounding, and I agree with that 100%. So ultimately, two really bad decisions that cost the Buccaneers in a big way. If those two pick sixes never happened, it would have ended up being a tie ball game at that point. We can't have those decisions going forward from Jameis Winston. And finally, that third interception, that was off the hands of O.J. Howard. I already mentioned that, but we need to see Jameis Winston improve. And Bruce Arians, he's going to get in with them, and he's going to, talk to him through it. They're going to watch the film. They're going to work on this. I know there is so much hate for Jameis Winston right now, and I completely understand. Jameis Winston really dropped the ball with those two pick sixes, okay? Both those decisions are inexcusable. You have a running back going up against one of the best cornerbacks in the game. You don't throw that ball. And it sounds like Bruce Arians has told Jameis Winston before, if you want to throw it away, throw it at your receiver's feet. He's got to make that a habit, okay? Both those things. His decision-making has got to get better, and his throwing away decisions have also got to get better. You can't throw away a ball that bad because it's just bad, okay? You obviously put yourself in really, really bad situations. But Jameis Winston, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the quarterback moving forward. And guys, we just have to learn from this. Jameis Winston has to learn from this. Bruce Arians has to continue to work with Jameis Winston, and we just have to keep on going. The Buccaneers next play the Carolina Panthers on Thursday Night Football. I will be back here with another live stream reacting to that game, and let's just hope for improvement, guys, okay? The Buccaneers right now are 0-1. And, we just gotta continue to see improvement, guys, okay? That's all I got for you. I'm sorry, okay? I don't have everything. I can't give you guys some immediate answers. We just have to keep on rolling. That's all we got. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget, guys, it's only week 1. There's still 15 games left to be played in this season. Let's just calm down, think about some things, and let's just go on to Carolina. Okay, that's all we can do. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this game down in the comment section below. What players did you think did some good? What players did you think do some bad? I want to know. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. But until the next video and the next live stream, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs!